And we are live. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for this special event of Dan-A-Plooza. My guest at this time is Brian Stowell and Alex Blair. They're going to talk about the special event that is coming. Actually, it's August 27th in Marietta, Ohio, at Marietta High School. The link is right there for Dizzy Boy Productions and Ticket Leap. So make sure you go ahead and order your tickets early for the red carpet screening of VIRT. So make sure to go ahead and check that out. Gentlemen, it is great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks, man.
So tell me, what was it like filming and being a part of this movie with a pandemic that was kind of going on as well?
Actually, we shot the majority of this. We shot everything, I think, before the pandemic really happened, and then everything was just in the editing stage at that point. But it still feels like a lifetime ago that we shot it, given everything that's happened over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we finished filming just prior to the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
I think August. I think we finished in August.
Yeah,
Something
like that.
And then that March is when the world died. So after the world died, there was no, let's do reshoots. No, I gained 30 pounds. I can't be right now. It's not going to go well. But yeah, it feels like it's been a lifetime ago. You're right, Alex.
But I think what it's good is you eventually, this is coming out and people can watch this. So sometimes even when the world stops, good things come and people can now watch and be amazed at your talents and performances.
Exactly. I'm really, really happy this is finally coming out. I can't wait for everybody to see this.
Yep, and I'm looking forward to it. For those watching and future watching, we will be sharing the trailer in here, and we will be having another panel with two of the other actors, Rick and Morgan, and that'll be Sunday, July 17th, so tune in to that event as well. So Brian and Alex, can you tell me a little bit about your characters?
So I play Joe Wilson. I'm one of the leads on this film. I'm a virtual technician. The best way I can describe it is being a coder. So basically, when people go in and have corrupted or messed up software, I go in and I fix the script and make everything right again.
And I play Bill Fulton. I have a similar job to Brian's character, but I'm also his best friend, and much less concerned with getting work done and much more concerned with having a good time. It was great because I really don't get to play characters like this very often, so I was definitely excited to jump into this role.
Yeah, I've worked with Alex before. We've met before and talked before. So prior to this, never imagined him being the protagonist. He does a fantastic job being a protagonist for sure.
Oh man, it was just it was just like the way that you and I played off each other, especially in those few scenes where I'm just like, I gotta get this done. She's all over my back. I'm just like, dude, come on, man, let's go out.
Yeah, definitely. I remember it. Yeah, like sitting there, it was just so natural and so easy. Like, honestly, God, I'm just sitting there in my scene, and I'm like, I have to get all this work done. I got to do this. I just saw this messed up stuff happen. Like, my mind is everywhere, but let's go to a bar and that's not where I'm at. And like, just the phone call from Alex here and his character Bill, and like the conversation, like in my real life, he would have convinced me to go to the bar. In my real life, I'm like, you're right. Forget it. This stuff, I can take care of this bar. Let's go. That's not who my character is. I'm a well-liked guy, but I'm more about getting the work done and everything else and not going to the bar.
um, so when I watched this trailer, and I watched it recently and again, it had certain reminded me of certain films and a vibe to it. And I wonder if I mention this, that you could say that it's kind of in relation to these movies. It reminded me a little bit of Ready Player One and a little bit of Tron. So, do you think that that's kind of a fair assumption that this film is kind of similar to those movies, or?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it has similar feels to it. It also has a feel of I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but that Tom Cruise movie where he's like going back.
Minority Report.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
It kind of has that same feel to it as well.
It's just I remember reading this script and I was just like, I don't understand how they're gonna do all this. And watching that trailer, I was blown away by it. I'd been wanting to work with Rich and Jeff and Kristen and everybody at Dizzy Boy for a long time, especially after seeing their last couple movies. And I am so excited to be a part of this because everything they've done is just absolutely mind blowing.
I feel like this is a great spot to say, Rich Roll, Jeff Little, Kristen Meacham, we love you. Thank you for the opportunity. You guys are fantastic. We're blessed to truly be able to work with you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
We can't wait to see what you came up with because they don't share it with us either.
Nope.
We got to wait for the movie magic too at the red carpet. That'll be the first time I'm seeing the film.
Yeah.
First time Alex seeing the film. That happened with us with No Oculus, Dan. I think you remember that.
Yes.
No one saw anything until with the red carpet event.
Yep. And I definitely feel like this people will definitely identify with this movie, and I feel like it may be well liked, when it actually debuts, because I feel like between the office setting and the virtual reality and how we are moving forward in technology, I feel it's very kind of relatable. Would you agree?
Definitely. Absolutely.
I really like the fact that the way Jeff wrote and the way like Rich directed, like they weren't trying to force that like, oh, they're coders and computer guys. Like they're supposed to be nerdy and all that stuff. That's not how real life is. Yeah, man, that's not how we really are. So they really allowed us to be real authentic people in these roles instead of forcing us into like, well, you need to lose 30 pounds and wear glasses and get a pencil protector. You know what I mean? Like, let us just be who real people are.
And that's what I see when I see the trailer, Brian. I don't see you playing that. I see the character, and like I totally believe you from start to finish, as well as everybody else in there. Like I could tell that something is really going on and being creative. So I give kudos to everybody from what I've seen before.
Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate that, Dan. Thank you.
I also want to shout out everybody from Parkersburg that helped us out on this because they were truly, truly amazing to work with and extremely hospitable. And I really, truly can't thank them enough for everything they did for us.
Totally agree. Morgan for letting us use her space. That's what the green room was. Jeff Little's wife for letting me almost run her over and probably give her a concussion. Clayton for saving my life twice now. 2 different films saved me. But, I mean, once again, we were there. It was the environment with the green screen. We spent a lot of time on green screen. Mm-hmm. A lot of time on green screen. And it was summertime. There was no air conditioning. And imagine all the lights that it takes to light up a green screen, right? All those lights. I think I got canned during the filming of VIRT in green screen.
I think that's why I was able to fall asleep on that crash pad. It was so hot in there. I was so tired. But that was another thing. Like I'd never done any like real hardcore green screen work like that before too. So it was a new experience on pretty much every level. But I was really excited to be a part of it.
So do you have kind of like because I'm not familiar with your background, do you have like any kind of improvisation or background for when you're giving these kind of challenges, or do you kind of research?
I'll do a little bit of research, but mostly I just try to. It's a lot easier for me to just kind of take it as it goes, and just as long as you know the script, you know what you're doing in the scene. The other elements will kind of help work themselves out.
Right, I'm the same way. Like, so it's like choreography. Like the whole thing was
Yeah.
choreography. Like, my hand movements to do A, and then I'm repetitively doing it over multiple scenes, and then B, like everything else. But a lot of it was like when we were in the scenes together, it was just motivational. Like, so what motive does he have? If this guy has a baseball bat in his hand, how's that going to move, and how's that going to hit me? And what direction am I going to go? Like, and we just played it off choreography wise off of each other very, very well. I mean, we created a role that wasn't there, but we all saw the same role.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So I definitely. Oh, sorry about that. That's a little cat jumping. So that's a little. That's our sound quality check for the day. So what scene means the most to you from doing this film?
I don't know what I can give away.
Yeah,
If you can't,
there's a scene that means a lot to my character and me in the film that strongly deals with Bill in the film, and I can't dive too far into it, but I feel like it's a very impactful scene.
I think the one that meant the most to me, just not even necessarily to my character, but just as an actor, is the scene where I'm trying to convince Brian's character to go out to the bar with me, and just the way that it's a simple shot on paper, but the way that Rich and Jeff kind of envisioned it made it very like dynamic and everything. How it's like we're shooting through the window of Brian's apartment to the parking garage where I am, and then back to me and back to him, and it's just the ingenuity that they exercised on that scene. I thought was really cool, and I was really excited to watch them work.
I agree. That was pretty cool. See that, especially with making sure the lighting was right on both sides to match. Like it was definitely not an easy thing to do.
We look forward to that scene when we're able to view that.
Oh wait, I got one more thing. There was one scene that was very impactful to me. The first time in my life I got hit by a car. It was a stunt, but it was pretty impactful. My iPhone is pretty strong. It took the beating of my hip. But yeah, first time I had to do a stunt getting hit by a car, which is it's always exciting when you get to do something new, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I've never had to do that before, and not only did I get hit by a car, but I had to get up really fast and keep running. So
Wow.
just bracing yourself for the impact and just rolling and going with it was a pretty first time in my life. First time acting road had to do something like that. So that was pretty impactful, I'd say.
But you kept on going. That's the most important.
Sure did, and then I took a week off.
But let me see. What are you most looking forward to at this red carpet event?
First and foremost, reconnecting with everybody.
Yeah.
Since the pandemic, I've kept communication, with Rich and them, but there's nothing better than being in person and reconnecting with all these people. I used to see Delaney all the time, around here. I used to run into Alex. I used to run into Rick all the time, Rick and Stephanie. But the pandemic's really kept everybody apart. There's been other little projects here and there, but the number one thing I'm looking forward to is just reconnecting with all these great people.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. I'm also really I'm excited to see the movie, but I'm also really excited for an actual audience to see what we've been able to achieve here.
Totally agree.
and I hope it's a great red carpet event for you, and that I hope it's a very positive reception. So you'll have to let me know.
Will do, Dan.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Have you always wanted to be an actor, Alex and Brian? Is that something that you always saw yourself as?
I did. Like for a young age, like I knew I wanted to do something like creative, but I didn't really know what specifically it was. But I think it was when I saw Back to the Future for the first time when I was a little kid. I really just wanted to be Marty McFly. I thought he was the coolest ever, and I've been striving to achieve that ever since.
I took like an alternate route. So like I played football, basketball, and baseball. And then when that was over, my dad would be like late to pick me up after school. So they had the school musical that would go on after the practice was over. So then I
Mhm.
just like, well, my dad's gonna be late picking me up. I guess I'll do the musical. What else am I gonna do? Just stand there.
Yeah.
Um, and then after like that first year of doing it, you're like, oh, I kind of like this. Yeah, I mean, and you just kept going. But then I went to the military for like 10 years and totally was away from everything. Got back home. You know, I found my community, like going through the acting role. Found my people. Yeah, I mean, we're being away from this area for 10 years and then coming back. Who do you really have at that point? Yeah, I mean, so just diving back in and finding the community got me really going. You know, I really like this. I really want to continue this role. And it just, yeah. So, I mean, I think my true wanting to be an actor happened after I got out of the military,
That's
which has been a
awesome.
while. It's been since 2007.
I definitely, Alex, Back to the Future is my favorite also. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So if you're still wanting to be Marty, and especially as I'm getting up in the age, I'll be your Doc Brown.
Yes.
So could definitely do that if you want to. So
Awesome.
I don't have a time machine, but you know, can look always online.
I'm sure we could find a flux capacitor somewhere.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I heard they're bringing DeLoreans back.
Oh, I'm sure they are. That's just
Yeah.
too iconic of a car not to.
Do you have a favorite line from Back to the Future there, Alex?
I don't know if I would say it's my favorite one, but I definitely remember it's the first one that I ever got in trouble for quoting out loud. It was when it was when they experiment on Einstein and he goes back to the future and Marty picks up the license plate and he burns his hand. And he just goes, "Jesus Christ, Doc, he disintegrated Einstein." I said it out loud and I didn't realize my mom was standing right there when I said it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But yeah, that one's always kind of crop back up in there every now and then.
Yep. I'm a big fan of Biff's lines with the make like a tree and
Yeah. Get out of here.
get out of here. So I'm a big fan of all his one-liners.
I think that's where Boondock Saint probably really got the idea for the bartender. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
where he would say, make like a tree and fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that plays anything into it, but I think that's really where they built that character from was from Biff.
Penny saved is worth two in the bush, isn't it?
So my next question is, if you could have any kind of dream role or show, what would it be?
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Oh man. I always like in whatever capacity, I always wanted to be a part of a detective story, a gangster movie, and an astronaut movie.
think you've done most of those. As I'm reflecting upon things I've seen you in, I think you've been most of those already. Because I was in the military for so long, I think I would have loved to be like in one of those films. Yeah, I mean, like one of those military films, like oh man, like Black Hawk Down, stuff like that, Saving Private Ryan. Like I just feel like strongly compelled to want to be in something like that.
I could see you playing a good drill instructor.
Thanks, buddy. You want to come? You want to come play Private Powell? We can handle
that. Kick my ass up and down that place.
Exactly. Oh, for myself, it's always been like a superhero kind of movie. Probably something I would think maybe like the Suicide Squad. So maybe if they make another one.
That would be so much fun to be a part of. Just it's like the Dirty Dozen of superhero movies. It would be so much fun to do
that. For sure.
Definitely.
Who doesn't want to play the bad guy in something, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be awesome.
Mr. Popular.
So are you a fan of certain genres that you like to watch, as a fan of movies? Is there like a certain horror, do you like horror or action or other films, or are you a fan of just all movies in general?
Yeah, definitely all movies in general. There's really not like a specific genre that I avoid, but especially if I haven't seen something and I'm like scrolling through on Netflix or whatever and it looks like remotely interesting to me, I'll just like watch a trailer or something like that and just be like, oh yeah, I'll check that out. I've actually discovered a lot of really good movies that way, so that's how I usually operate.
I'm the same way. I haven't found too much that I'm like, oh, I don't like this genre. Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, being this big football, basketball guy that I was growing up, then you come over to my house and I'm like watching The Notebook. And like on Friday night, I can tell you what's on tonight that my wife and I are going to watch. RuPaul's Drag Race. That's happening. I mean, like movies-wise, I mean, one of my favorite comedies, I already said it earlier, was Boondock Saints. Love that film. Just on it. But then I love Lost Boys. And then, one of my other favorite movies is Point Break. So that's just all over the board, right? So, like, I can sit down and watch, a love story as well as I can sit down and watch an action movie or a horror film or anything. I love film. My wife might not like it as much as I do anymore because I point out everything they see that I'm like, you see how they pushed in the camera there? Like,
I do that all the time, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, shut up. She's heard it.
I do it all the time. We'll be in a movie theater and I'll whisper, I'm like, see how they act a movie?
I'm always the one sitting there going like, oh, that actor's from this, and that she was in that, this and that, and I'm just sitting there like, just shut up.
I get that a lot.
Yeah, I'm a fan of all of them, all the genres, but I think my favorites lie with the 80s. And it's all about the 80s for me.
Slasher film.
Most cheesy ones like Gremlins, and I love a good horror cheesy, The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Then I could get even cheesier with that. The USA Up All Night.
Yeah.
Someone's skiing somewhere. That was my 80s too. That's how I made my way through the
80s. So do you ever see yourself, besides doing film, do you ever see yourself doing like any kind of other acting work, be it the stage or voice acting?
I'm actually involved in I've been focusing my attention a lot more on theater this year, actually. I've been pretty much doing that exclusively since February. And I'm actually involved in a production of The Great Gatsby right now.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Great.
Congrats, Alex. That's awesome,
Thanks, man.
Yeah, congratulations.
I can't see myself going to the stage. I don't know. I feel like I'm more of a micro movements. Like I feel like if I was on stage, I'd be like, what do I do with my hands? Do with these things. Where I'm on camera and I know what's on camera. Depending on the lens, I'm like, oh, they only have my face here. Or like, oh, I can do this scene 27 times. It's okay.
Yeah.
Instead, Alex is like one and done. You're either
Yep.
do it or you're going to do it wrong, which is probably intense.
It's very intense.
Musical, not so much, but like what you're doing, that's probably intense, and the adrenaline's probably an amazing feeling. But
Oh yeah.
I'd be back to what do I do with these?
It's definitely very especially like before you walk out there, the nerves are going, adrenaline's pumping, you're just like, all right, let's go, let's do this. And then you walk off stage and you just feel this great rush of you just got everything out of there.
Yeah, I bet amazing feeling after you're done, I'm sure.
It truly is. Because I've mostly started in stage and then I went to film, so I know what Alex is exactly talking about. So I've always enjoyed that. It's always been more of a joy than when I've done improvisation, and you either hit or you miss, and there's everyone right there in front of you. So
that's the one thing I have never really liked doing. I don't think I'm like, I can, improv a scene. If somebody flubs a line or something like that, I can usually pick it back up. But if it's just like give me a topic and let's go from there. Yeah. Like I can't do that. That's a whole skill set I haven't achieved yet.
Have you ever been in that boat, Brian, where you've had to do improvisation? Just
probably 90% of my acting career, to be honest. That's my wheelhouse, man. That's where I want to be. No, I mean, I definitely liked, the strict, like, these are your lines, this is what you go with and everything else. Yeah. If we're in the middle of the scene and we already got one call take in the bag, there's a chance I might be like, let me throw this out there and see what's, you know what I mean? Like, and I know Alex has been on the other side of that for me. And he plays well with everything. Alex is solid. Like, I throw it at him, he'll throw it right back at you. His volume. I think his improvisational skills are better than he says.
I mean, one of the great things I loved about working on this was that everybody was a brilliant collaborator, and we're all open to, like, if something doesn't quite work, we can play around with it in different ways and see what happens. But that's like one of my favorite things about being an actor and making movies, is just working with excellent collaborators like these guys.
Working like one of my favorite things to learn when we were on set is watching everybody else's process. Like, how I'm gonna just Angelo on the film.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my god,
yeah, I know, right? We would be like 1 minute till the film, and dude's writing in the margins, like, all this stuff. You're like, that's a dissertation, man. Like, what are you? And all he's doing is delivering one line, but you've got this whole motivational thing written out. Like, how am I doing it? Why am I doing it? How intense I'm going to do. Everything just in the margins. Like, it's just like a beautiful mind. Like, you read it and you're just like, I see what you're getting at. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I need to start writing my margins. And I don't know, I'd write down, like, my grocery list to start, right?
I mean, yeah, like you said, man, everybody's got a different process, a different way of doing things, but it's all very interesting to see how everybody works.
Definitely, and now I think about that, and I think about when I worked together with Brian and, like, my process and everything like that, and how I when I first thought of it, I was like, I don't want to screw it up, and, like, I was not as much social as I am now, because it's like, there's a lot going into this, so I gotta hit and nail this, and
I remember that.
Yeah, I was very quiet and reserved because I wanted to make it count, and then, like, when I see it later, I go, I probably could have said a little bit more stuff and everything, and been a little more social, but it's kind of a challenge to go from stage and improv work to doing your first film and wrapping your mind around that. Did you find that to be a challenge for you, Alex?
Yeah, it's a whole different like style. It it's not, you don't necessarily throw out everything you've already learned, but you definitely gotta like make sure you can rein it in, because you're not playing to the guy in the back of the theater anymore. You're playing to this guy right in front of you.
It's like retraining your brain.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it becomes muscle memory after a while.
Oh yeah. So it definitely has that, but I definitely learned, and I definitely looked up to Brian when I was in the film together. So
I kept trying to get you to talk. I kept
I
trying
know.
to get you to talk.
Hey,
I'm like, come on, man, listen up. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be great. Let's go. You know what I mean?
tunnel vision. Like,
I remember, like, I'm like, come on, they'd have food, and I'm like, oh, come get food. And Dan still be standing at the table. Like, you can see him processing his lines and saying his lines in his head over and over and over. Like, I could see it. And I kept trying to, like, you have these lines by now. Like, they're locked in. Like, you know, you don't need to worry about that now. Now you just need to relax. This is where it pays off.
oh yeah, I remember that, and I was just like, man, I really want to impress these people, and I was just like very tunnel everything, and felt like Brian was just gonna be like, come on, and just like pick me up and move me to the, get something to eat or something like. Talk, Dan, talk.
With that being said, Emily Laparty, you remember Emily Laparty on that film?
Yeah,
I'm sure James Quinn will say the exact same thing as you.
yeah,
I don't know if she said more than like 3 words to us, other than the direct lines that she delivered to us. Like, she was such a quiet person in general. And she would say hi, but that's all she would give. Yeah, man. Like, she was totally locked in from the second she got on set. Even when she was back at the hotel, like, she would just go to her room and her process, man.
yeah. So now I'm like the total opposite of that. So just letting you know, you work with me, I'll be like a chatty Cathy. So, but so with moving forward, with the pandemic in the rearview mirror, do you see like any other things that you want to do or challenge as actors?
So right now, I'm looking forward to the 48-hour film festival that starts tomorrow.
I'm going to be a part of that too.
Are you? I'm actually taking a back seat to like acting, and I'm just being a cinematographer on this one.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to handle the cinematographer. Like, I have all my camera and all my equipment and everything. I bought all this stuff because I just want to become a better actor. Like, well, how am I going to be a good actor on camera if I don't know what the lens is? So then I bought all this stuff. And then I'm like, well, how do I know what they hear? I bought all this. I just dove down a rabbit hole. So I have all this stuff, so now I want to use it. So I'll be using that tomorrow. But acting-wise, I've taken kind of a break for the last year or so to recollect myself, re-get myself into shape where I can be on camera and be like, yeah, I look okay. Stuff. Just been focusing on my work life and my personal life, so I can get myself back in the right headspace to be able to go act.
I've actually been trying to get into writing. I've had a few ideas for a long time, and I'm just like, I figured, just try putting them down, see what happens. And it's coming along pretty nicely. I'm not fully finished yet, but it's an interesting process.
Definitely. If you're ever interested, we have writers on my show as well. Sometimes we do panels, so if you're ever interested in networking,
yeah, definitely.
What we try to do here is network, and hopefully opportunities come for you.
That's awesome.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's really cool. I wrote 2 films a couple years ago, feature films, but I have them. I have them downstairs, and they haven't gone anywhere. And I'm like, I'll find the right time to film these. And like, they're there. I want to film them, but I'm like, it's always something, right? Like, for us and our process in life, we're like, we're gonna get this started this summer, and then you're like, I need a better camera for this, or I need, I don't have a really good sound guy I know that's like
Oh
free.
yeah.
You know what I mean, like stuff like that. So I have them. I'll get to them eventually, but after writing those two films, um, the one took me 3 years because I wrote it and I trimmed it up. And I rewrote a bunch of scenes because I'm like, that's not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Some stuff, And then the other one took like a year. Took a year. It was a lot quicker because it was a more specific topic. It's like police related. Alex, it's more cop related film. So it was a lot easier to focus on that. Yeah, I mean, like the other one's like broader, like it's like a love story slash drama. Like I like it. It's like my passion project, but I don't know if I'll ever get to the point where I film it because I'll always find something wrong with it.
That's usually my problem.
Yeah. My wife will tell you I got halfway through it. I got halfway through it the first time writing it. I printed it out because I wanted her to read it. And before I even handed it to her, I ripped it up and threw it in the trash and started over. And then I wrote the exact same crap. I guarantee you it was the exact same thing that bled out on paper, like the same 8 scenes, but right in the trash.
Actually, we actually have a question right now. We have a viewer that's watching right now. Hello, Matt the Cat. So Matt the Cat wanted to know if you... I don't believe that you're not from Ohio. That was Matt the Cat's question.
So, long story. I lived in Ohio from the time I was in, I'd say, kindergarten to like halfway through my 7th grade year.
Oh, okay.
And I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh.
But I have done a bunch of films in Ohio.
A lot of our cast and crew on VIRT is from like the Marietta area.
Yep. So there you go, Matt. Brian has spent some time in Ohio. Alex is mostly PA, and the cast and crew is from Marietta. So thank you, Matt the Cat, for the question.
Yeah, thank you.
He's a regular. Oh, you're from Pittsburgh, Matt the Cat? Okay. Then PA in the house. But he's one of our regular viewers. So now that that 2022, we're kind of like at the midway point, and we're going to go into 2023. Do you think that there's going to be more films with Disney Boy Productions, and has anything been said or that you can say? I know sometimes you can say things and you can't, so.
I mean, I certainly hope so.
Yeah, I would say that VIRT is just another step in their process to creating amazing films. Yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't think they end here by any means.
Nah.
Okay.
But definitely. I don't know of any other secret projects. I'm not privy to that.
Yeah. I'm glad you corrected me because I've been saying the name wrong. I didn't know it was VIRT. I've been saying VIRT. I wasn't exactly sure how to pronounce it, but
yeah, VIRT is short for virtual software solutions. The company.
That makes sense now.
VIRT, and Alex's character is a VIRT.
Yes. Because I was always like, well, I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to spell it.
Like, is this a suffix? Is there like a prefix like pervert? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Is this with
it's
a
not
conjunction?
That kind of movie, Brian.
I let the cat out of the bag again, Alex. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. So before we wrap on Dan-A-Plooza, is there anything else you would like to say, promote before we end?
I would just say definitely get your tickets now because they're going quick. We definitely want to see everybody at this premiere and we can have a great time and check out the flick.
Yeah, once again, I'm excited to see the film. I'm excited for everybody to see what Jeff and Rick came up with. It is absolutely fantastic. I also just want to say thank you, Dan, for having fun on the show today.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
Thank you for being a great cat fan. You're fantastic to work with. Delaney Hathaway, always the doll. Rick Dutrow, true professional. Angelo, fantastic. You'll get to know that guy. You'll love him. Just everybody across the board, just a fantastic cast, absolutely fantastic crew, and I just can't wait for the world to see this film.
Yeah.
Okay. So one more time for those watching and future watching, the red carpet event is August 27th in Marietta, Ohio, at the Marietta High School. You can go ahead and get your tickets at the link at DizzyBoy Productions Ticketleap.com/VIRT red carpet event. So make sure to go on and order your tickets. I'd like to thank my guests, Brian and Alex Blair. So keep supporting. Go see VIRT and have a good evening.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.